Is starting an Amazon business a good idea? Is it still a valuable business model in 2023? With 300 million customers, 2.7 billion site visits each month, and 66% of consumers starting their shopping journey on Amazon, yes, it is still a viable business model. But things are changing. There are some key trends and strategies you must know to be successful, and that's what we're going to dive into today on AMZ Unlocked. If I was starting an Amazon business in 2023, there are some crucial points that I would be sure to consider to become successful in the new year. There are some basic truths that still hold true, and there are some new ways of thinking and managing your business that you should be using. Let's start with some of the basics and also take a look at the new twists and strategies that you should employ, but stay with me to the end. I have an especially important cautionary tip that will truly serve you in 2023 that I want to be able to share with you before we wrap up, so be sure to stay with me to the end for that. The first and most basic strategy for any seller is to build a good product. The days of selling commodity products that compete solely on price is over. If you are competing on price alone, you are in a race to the bottom. The old trend to play the algorithm is over. The focus has shifted, and you must be focusing on providing quality products, amazing branding, and great content for shoppers to convert and become your customers. The future of Amazon is in the brands. Your product should solve a real pain point or induce significant pleasure. It should be a solution or a source of joy. Building a product from scratch is very time-consuming and can be risky. Shoppers need to know about a product before they search for it. So a strategy I like to use in my product development is to focus on improving an existing product in a way that the improvement can be communicated as a visual differentiation. This goes beyond just changing a color, but the differentiation does need to be visual, or at least communicated in a visual way. Remember, Amazon is like a dating app for shopping. The photos have to get the click, and being able to stand out in a visual way is key to winning those clicks from page one. Another basic skill needed to be a successful Amazon seller is becoming a master of data. Data should guide you in your competitor research, in your market research during the product development phase, and definitely as you continually monitor your metrics and KPIs to optimize your business. The data you get from your keyword research will be invaluable. This data will not only help your SEO or your listing optimization, but will also help with your competitor research. The best reverse ASIN tool is ZonGuru's Keywords on Fire. It shows you the keyword rank for over 300 relevant keywords for up to 25 of your top competitors. This will show you where you can outmaneuver your competition with your own keyword rankings. I mentioned becoming a master of branding already, but you also need to master advertising and marketing. You must have a marketing plan. A well-crafted marketing plan will increase sales and organic keyword ranking. Your brand identity is the foundation of your marketing plan. Having a cohesive design throughout is crucial. This applies to your product listings, including your copywriting, your A+ content, and don't forget to use your brand story to really tell the shoppers who your brand is. Your brand identity should also be cohesive and clear as shoppers visit your storefront as well. Remember, keep your messaging and designs consistent. The confused mind says no. Your marketing plan has your branding identity as a foundation, but is built with PPC and driving outside traffic to your listings and storefront. As always, you need to regularly monitor and optimize your PPC, especially when you're making changes to your campaigns. I've always been a fan of video advertising, and Amazon has increased their video capabilities and options for sellers, making this an area to seriously consider in your advertising. I have found that video ads with great videos that speak to the benefits, not the features, really convert. You need your video to connect to shoppers on an emotional level, and that comes from communicating the features. How is the product going to make their life better? Due to the increasing PPC costs, driving external traffic is more important than ever. External traffic can often boost your organic rank better than PPC, as well as boosting your brand by providing an avenue to expose off-Amazon customers to your brand experience. It will give you a platform to promote your brand identity to a much larger audience. I think it's safe to say that we're all looking at the Amazon FBA business model as a means for financial freedom, so we must consider the best financial strategies to be successful. The saying, "Cash is king," is very true to Amazon sellers. Cash flow management can make or break any business, not just an Amazon FBA business. Amazon fees are going up, so making sure you're maintaining profitability is crucial. It should actually be a consideration from the beginning as you start your product research. But even after you launch, there are ways to optimize your profits. During your product research, you want to strive for an ROI, or return on investment, of 100% minimum after including all the variables such as packaging, shipping, storage, returns, and advertising. A 100% ROI means you can replace each item you sell with another one. 100% is the minimum, but you want to strive for a much higher ROI to be truly profitable. You want to make sure you're controlling costs where you can. Optimizing your packaging to keep your product in a less expensive size tier can make or break profits. I personally have a product that had packaging that was too close to the cutoff of 8 inches on the shortest side. I measured it at 7.75 inches, but Amazon measured it at 8.03 inches. That 0.03 inches cost me an additional $4 in fulfillment costs for each unit I sold. Another way to control costs is to maximize your reimbursements. There are several service providers, such as Getita, who do this for you and only charge a percentage of what's recovered. I personally use Getita, so I can recommend them. I'll put their link in the description so you can check it out for yourself later. With the threat of a recession looming, you must provide value, so the price you charge makes sense. Employing a dynamic pricing strategy is a great way to remain competitive in this ever-changing environment. Know your minimum pricing threshold to stay profitable, and regularly review the competition's pricing. This is a metric that I can quickly and easily check daily on my ZonGuru business dashboard. I use the Product Pulse tool and set the price of my competitors as an alert for their ASINs that I want to monitor. I can see at a glance if their prices have changed. This allows me to stay on top of my pricing and to remain both profitable and competitive. In addition to cash flow management, inventory planning and management is crucial. Over the last couple of years, we have learned to deal with supply chain issues, and it has never been more important to stay in stock. Amidst inventory restrictions and limits from Amazon, this has become more challenging than ever. One way to combat this is to look at alternatives to FBA, such as 3PLs that fulfill your orders if you run out of stock in Amazon. This is a strategy that I recommended in Q4 as a backup, but in 2023, this may be a more viable strategy throughout the year. But there's another option that is a complete 180-degree shift, and one that I will be using in 2023. It's just-in-time shipping. This utilizes a 3PL based in China that will ship my products in smaller shipments on a more frequent basis. This has the added benefit of improving my IPI score with Amazon. This is a truly game-changing strategy for both inventory and cash flow management, and we're going to do a deep dive in a later episode, but in the meantime, check out the link in the description to SKU Drop. This is a service provider that has put this truly game-changing strategy at our fingertips. Now, I hope you've been getting some value out of these strategies. If you have, please hit the like button and leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite tip for 2023 is, or if you have any other tips, please share. I'd love to see what you're doing to stay successful in 2023. I promise to share an important cautionary tip that can really serve you in 2023. As my Nana always told me, consider the source. There are many self-proclaimed experts or gurus in the Amazon space. When listening to those experts, there are important facts that should be taken into consideration, and these apply to me as well. Are they successful, and can they back this up? Success is not just a measure of revenue. You need to look beyond the multitude of screenshots showing astronomical sales figures that are all over the internet. These may be impressive, but huge revenue does not always equal profits, and that is the true measure of success. Revenue is just a vanity metric. A good friend likes to say, it's not the turnover, it's the leftover that matters. The leftover is your profit, and I couldn't agree more. You need to ask, is this person an active seller? Is their success and selling history recent, if not current? Things are constantly changing on Amazon. What worked a couple of years ago won't necessarily work now. No one knows it all, so be cautious of blanket statements. As I said, the Amazon landscape is constantly changing. There are no absolutes in this arena. What may be true for one niche may not work at all for another. Context really matters, so you must not blindly follow anyone's advice. I personally have learned from many experienced sellers in my time. I have more than one mentor that I refer to, but in the end, it's still my call on the decisions I make for my business, because I'm the captain of my own ship. Now, my Nana also taught me not to say anything if I couldn't say something nice, but I have to be honest with you. It's just who I am. Beware of all of the noise and hype. Unfortunately, there are people in the space that are sadly out of touch, or worse. I recently saw some so-called hot product recommendations that shocked me. It was a collection of cheap commodity goods that offered no way to differentiate and stand out, and no potential for a sustainable profit margin. I would be concerned if anybody I knew was considering launching any of those products. As bad as that is, though, that is something that can be overcome if you do your due diligence with your own product research. But sadly, some of these so-called experts are just out to sell you something. And tragically, some of them are just plain scamming. So be aware, and like Nana taught me, consider the source. Now, speaking of who I am, I also must be held accountable to these same standards. I am actively selling. I make no claims to be an expert or a guru, but I do have a lot of experience that I want to share. I do not have extraordinary sales figures and have been upfront about the fact that my business slipped a bit while I was working full-time in the Amazon space. In fact, the basis of this YouTube channel is to document the process of rebuilding and scaling my own business with complete data transparency. I'm here to provide value, to inspire, empower, and educate. So there's a lot to think about before starting an Amazon business in 2023. I'm a firm believer in never looking back and wondering what if, which is how I ended up in Australia in the first place. But that's a story for another day. So, would I start an Amazon business in 2023? Personally, yes, I would. But I also believe that each of us should be solely responsible for our own successes. If you take everything into consideration and have the time and funds to do this, then with the right tools and education to help you, you have every chance to succeed. I'm a planner. To be honest, I'm a bit OCD when it comes to being organized and planning. But if you form a plan and stay true to the basic principles, offer great products with great service, and if you're as passionate about being an e-commerce entrepreneur as I am, then you will have every chance of a great 2023. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notifications of future videos like this one on branding.